Hi, everybody. Welcome to Win Pillow Talk. Another awesome day. We're grateful to God for His mercies that are new upon us every day. Every day above the ground, this day is enough to say, Father, thank you. My story hasn't ended yet. God has bigger and better plans for you. Hang in there. Life, yes, situations will happen. The storms of life will always come. God will always raise a standard above that of the enemy. So hang in there. Run the race to win and win it well. In Jesus' name. Yes, as we continue our series, forgiving without forgetting what the issue is. I know people always say forgive and forget, and others will say forgive and don't forget, and others will say if you cannot forgive, then if you cannot forget, it means you've not forgiven. I'll use scriptures to explain myself, and at the end, I'll tell you what I think about all of that. Today, I want us to talk about why it's a must. You must forgive those who have hurt you, those who have betrayed you, those who have mocked you, those who have belittled you, those who have taken duped you in one form or the other in business or whatever. It doesn't matter who that person is. Why? The Bible requires all of us to forgive. We talk about the Lord's Prayer. It says, forgive our trespasses as I forgive those who trespass against. It's a must. If you don't forgive, God cannot forgive you. So it starts with you. Always remember, hurting people hurt others. The people hurting you may be hurting in one form or the other, and you are only looking at your own hurt, and by so doing, miss what they are going through. Miss the pain, the situation. If you love somebody, it's impossible for you to hurt them. If you don't love them, it's so easy for you to hurt them because you don't care. But when you care about something, you make sure you protect and guide it. Make sure you protect it and save it to enjoy it. Look at our cars today. Some of us love our things more than we love people. We'll protect our car more than you will protect somebody you're hurting. So today, why are you saying it's a must? It's a must because it is an intentional choice. It is an intentional choice on your own part to say, yes, I agree, I have been mocked and I walk in unforgiveness and I don't want to walk in unforgiveness again. So what must I do? What must you do is accept that you've been hurt. What did you learn from that issue? If you didn't learn anything, guess what? It's going to happen again because you did not know what else to do to get there. So what in every situation, I always tell people learn something from that incident so you can help somebody else. You can see the signs and ask questions. How did I let myself go? What did I do wrong? How did I manage this? Some of the unforgiveness we have, it's maybe because we cannot dialogue with the person who has, or either the person is too egoistic, the person does not want to acknowledge you're wrong, the person doesn't really care about your feelings, the person doesn't even, is not interested. They're interested in me, myself, and I. What can I do? How can I enjoy my life? I'm having fun and I'm having life, so I really don't care how you feel or how. With all that, you find it so difficult sometimes to forgive the person. But today, the forgiveness is not for that person. The forgiveness is for you. Yes, as we say, it's drinking poison and expecting some other person to die. The person is not dying, it's you dying. And I'm going to show you why I say it's you dying. This is your heart, right? Bear with me. This is your heart. In this glass, a heart full of love, kindness, and joy. And guess what? This is your body. So it's in that heart, hiding. But today, see it as your heart. And somebody brings hatred, somebody brings betrayal, somebody brings pain in you. The heart is already overflowing not with joy. The same as somebody can bring a lot of joy and flows with joy. Now it's flowing with pain. You start to nurture that, and it starts to grow. Grow what? Seeds of bitterness. The Bible is clear, reminds us, let not bitter roots grow in us. Why? When bitter roots grow in you, it removes you from the presence of God. God does not like us to be bitter. God does not want you to be bitter. Colossians 3:13 reminds all of us that we should be careful not to grow any bitter roots within us. When Satan is recruiting other people to come and switch your life off, you need to be careful. The Bible reminds all of us to guard our hearts with all diligence. You don't even allow it. Be quick. That's why the Bible reminds us, be quick to forgive. Let not the sun go down with you still being angry. So you will not start to meditate and grow in. And now you've brought resentment. You see how the heart is overflowing? The overflow is not joy, it is pain. Now your face starts to look ugly. You start to age before your time because you're so bitter. You see that person, you twist your face, wrinkles are coming out of your face as you go the other side. And they've removed you in the presence of God. So when you go to pray, the Bible says, when you go to pray, and remember that somebody has wronged you, not even you, but some other, go back and make peace before you get to the altar. You see how it's not even worth you walking in unforgiveness with somebody, especially when you're a child of God. It is not worth it. So you let it go. You guard your heart with all diligence. When unforgiveness is coming, refuse to meditate on it. Let it come, protect that heart. And when they come, there is no space for them to enter. It is easier said than done. Yes, why? We have not practiced. Practice makes perfect. Even working in forgiveness is a process. It is not a day's thing. The world we live in teaches all of us how to revenge. When they give you one blow, you go with three. When you understand. So it is so difficult now for you to retrain yourself to say, you know what? You have hurt me, but I choose to forgive you. It's a choice, and make it wisely. You are in control. You are in power. I know people will always like to belittle you by thinking, oh, you're a doormat and you're a beggar and you're this and you're that. All the words that will make you not forgive. When you forgive, it is somebody who is confident in who they are and confident in the God they serve. The other people come as recruiters from hell. Just remember that they're all being recruited by hell to bring you down. When you start to belittle people who want to walk in unforgiveness, my darling brother and sister, you're allowing yourself to be recruited by Satan. Rather than support and hold one another up, learn something from that person. Don't bring them down unless you are also suffering from an insecurity. That is a video for another day. But when you're a confident person, hurting people will always hurt other people. That is all they have. So when I see people belittle me, when I see people mocking me, when I see people trying to walk in hatred, I laugh. It's what they have. I don't have that. When I see people betray me, I laugh. It's what they have. I don't have that. So don't make people change you, but rather let your light shine even in darkness. That darkness would see and think, I have come to bring her down, but actually God is using it to amplify the level of love that the person has. Never allow anybody switch your light. Intentionally switch it on and leave it on. That God himself is able to use you when it pleases him. Let us not pray and assume that you're doing it and pray wicked prayers for that person. They might be hurting somewhere. They might be even walking with insecurity. It is insecurity that will make you mock people, betray people, laugh at people, make stories about people. You are insecure in some area. When you value and you're a confident person, it is difficult. You can only use somebody's character to try and belittle me. The question is, why would you want to belittle me? Unless there's an insecurity, unless my light so affects you that you see the need to do that. If you don't see the need to do that, you rather praise what you see. You rather encourage a good thing instead of discouraging a good thing. Don't allow Satan, my darling brothers and sisters, recruit you. Satan is recruiting as well as God is recruiting. But God reminds all of us, if we do not, and every forgiveness requires a sacrifice. God loved you so much that he knew I was going to sin. He knew you were going to sin. And he sent his only begotten son to reconcile us, to say, you know what, you have sinned, but I have forgiven you because of what my son did. What are you prepared to do for somebody? To show them, you know what, what you meant for bad, but God. In spite of all the issues, in spite of the betrayal, in spite of the jealousy, in spite of the pain, in spite of the derogative words, I choose to walk on the higher road. But God, the fear of God becomes what you dwell, what you live by, and not the standards of people. When we live like that, my brothers and sisters, forgiveness becomes a process. You forgive, you don't forget. You don't forget why. You're able to stand and share your story as a testimony, to be a blessing for somebody what they are going through. You're able to stand and say and see how far you have come from and know that, but God, I would have been dead, but God. I would have walked out of that marriage, but God. I would have walked out of that business deal, but God. I would have walked out of that employment, but God. When but God cancels everything you said earlier. So for you and I to move in that domain, for you and I to move at those levels, we need to dig really deep within us. Really deep, to transform ourselves, transform our hearts, transform our lives, and let our light so shine that others will see and glorify the God we serve. So we can teach the next generation a better way of living, with forgiving others, but never forgetting the scar they leave on you, but rather using that scar to be a testimony for others to be blessed. Watch part 4 next week. Love to hear from you as well. Take care. Love you loads. Bye for now.